Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for Collision, AEW Collision post-show review. Banker card announced for tonight's show. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with the trios titles match, The Demand versus Set Rodeo, Hangman Adam Page, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. Bailey and Ricochet started the match, but it was not long before Ricochet shoved Bailey into Knight, and then Bishop Khan and Liona took out Hangman and Knight on the floor. So Ricochet and The Demand takes the early advantage in this match. Bailey ate a knee to the back from Khan, allowing Ricochet to attack from behind. Then we saw Bailey and Liona started facing off after a few minutes, and Bailey had to use his speed and kicks to wear Liona down until he hit a dropkick from the top rope to create the opening. Hangman Page comes in with the tag and follow a slam on Ricochet. Then Khan and Liona rushed the ring and sent Knight and Bailey to outside before allowing Ricochet to hit a 450 splash on Page for a very close 2 count. Then we saw Page hit the dead eye on the apron on Liona but ate a knee from Ricochet. Ricochet pulled the referee in front of the buckshot lariat and hit Vertigo on Page for a very close 2 count. Ricochet sent Hangman out of the ring and turned back to face Jack Perry, which caused the distraction, but Hangman actually landed on the apron. So Ricochet turned around into a buckshot lariat, and JetSet Rodeo retains the trios title in a very good opening match on Collision. Next up, we saw FTR walked up on Rascalz, talking about their smoking habits and how they disapproved. FTR said he wished they won the tag match to face FTR at the pay-per-view, but they didn't. The Rascalz then challenged FTR for an eliminator match, and FTR decided if they wanted a fight that badly, they would give it to them. So we get the official announcement of FTR versus Rascalz announced for Collision. Next up is the Young Bucks versus the Swirl, Blake Easton and Lee Johnson. The entire Bucks family was in the crowd, including their brother and their kids as well. As we know, Bucks don't have bad matches, so this was no different from that. The Bucks hit planchas to the floor on both men, but as Blake got into the ring, he hit a top suicida into a moonsault on the Bucks. We saw Blake Christian was hitting a springboard moonsault to the floor on Nick Jackson, then hitting a combo Death Valley driver and double stomp on Matt Jackson for a very close 2 count. Blake Christian hit a Frostbody flop on the floor to Matt Jackson, catching him in a reverse DDT position. We saw Scorpion Death Drop on Matt Jackson on the floor. However, the Bucks regrouped quickly, hitting a Doomsday device on Lee Johnson, which sent him moonsaulting out onto Blake Christian. Then they hit the BTE trigger on Blake Christian for the win. So great tag team match here with the Young Bucks again looking like the best tag team in the world. And to be fair, they usually do that very well. Next up is the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship match, Josh Alexander versus Claudio. Like the last CMLL World title match, we saw Tony Khan presenting the title before the match. We saw Alexander and Claudio started fast, with Claudio hitting the rope so hard he looked as fast as the Young Bucks, and he caught Alexander in mid-air and hit a backbreaker as well. Claudio sent Alexander back into the corner and hit a series of chops before hitting an overload chop on Alexander. Alexander responded by kicking Claudio leg out of his leg, but Claudio was still able to deadlift Alexander and drop him, leading to another striking battle, and that deadlift looks fantastic. We saw Alexander hitting an Yuzugiri on Claudio, but Claudio popped up into a huge European uppercut for a very close 2 count. Claudio countered the leg lock with a massive deadlift vertical suplex. Claudio went for the gut style neutralizer, but Archer got on the apron, but Rina Shafir hopped on the apron too and got in the face of Archer, letting Claudio hit a pump kick that sent him to the floor. Then Alexander hit a German suplex on Claudio, and Claudio dodged it and hit the neutralizer for the pinfall victory. This was a very good title match, and Claudio is fantastic. Next up is Megan Bayne versus Becca. Poor Becca had a dropkick as the bell rang, and Megan Bayne hit a German suplex and the shoulder thrust in the corner. Megan Bayne hit the running Liger bomb for the pinfall finish. So a quick win for Megan Bayne, and she might be setting up for the TBS title match at Revolution as well. We saw Tommaso Ciampa backstage with Laxinier, and he talked about how Fletcher took that title to Australia and stayed there after beating Mark Briscoe, but that he wanted to make it clear when Fletcher was done with his vacation, he wanted to get his title back. So again, we can get this match at Revolution as well. Next up is Death Riders versus the Don Callis family. Yuta was wearing a beanie to cover his baldness, which is hilarious to see. Pac and El Clone had a fast exchange until Clone lured Pac into a punch from Davis, who tagged in and started to beat on smaller Pac. Moxley locked in the Bulldog choke on Davis, but Takeshita came into the ring and broke up the submission. We saw Moxley and Takeshita ended up exchanging forearms to the floor, but Moxley got sent into the steps and was down again. Clone and Pac ended up back in the ring, and it ended that Pac hitting a flying forearm on Clone and then a running Hurricane on Takeshita as well. Pac hit a tombstone on Clone and went to hit something off the top rope, but Takeshita hit him with a forearm. That looks brutal. Davis brought a chair into the ring, but Marina stole it from him, and Yuta blind tagged on Pac before hitting Takeshita with a splash. We saw Takeshita hit the Raging Fire on Yuta, and that was the end of the match. And Yuta managed to keep his talk out, but that Raging Fire is enough to get the pinfall win for the Don Callis family. So again, Takeshita and Moxley faced off against each other in the ring after the match. Next up is Julia Hart versus the returning Thunder Rosa. This was a decent match, though really not anything special. Thunder Rosa was clearly excited to be back. We saw Hart, being a star, did get some offense than someone would normally get in this match. Julia locked in the octopus stretch after that tarantula, but Rosa powered out with the sidewalk slam. After a leg trip from Hart, she went for a moonsault, but Rosa countered by getting the feet up and hit the Fire Thunder driver for the pinfall win. So Thunder Rosa defeated Julia Hart after returning from injury. We saw Tekla was in the crowd and cut a promo Thunder Rosa as Rosa was distracted. Julia Hart went to attack from behind, but Chris Statlander ran down to make the save. So we might get Tekla versus Stat at Revolution as well. We saw Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors interrupting Tony Schiavone and Excalibur running around and announced matches for the next few shows and talked about how they are going to target Orange Cassidy next because he got involved in their business. And Gabe Kidd challenged Cassidy to a match for Dynamite, which gets official later in the night. And in the main event, we saw Rascalz versus FTR for an eliminator match. The family of the Bucks all booed FTR heavily while they threatened the children of Matt and Nick Jackson. We saw a very great match between these two great tag teams. Zachary Vance slapped Dax Harwood so hard he collapsed. Zachary Vance hit a tornado on Harwood and then tagged out to Xavier. Wheeler sent Xavier into the guardrail multiple times and then got into the face of Matt Jackson's kids. They also shoved their brother, Matt and Nick Jackson's brother, as FTR continued to beat on the Xavier in the ring. We saw Zachary Vance leapfrogged Harwood, who was hanging onto the ropes, and hit Wheeler, while Xavier got a near fall on Harwood. We saw Harwood hit a Tiger driver on Vance for a very close to count. Xavier made a save and helped Vance hit the hot fire flame, but Dax Harwood got the knees up and then hit a brainbuster on Zachary Vance for a very close to count. The Bucks came down to the ring to save their family from this. This caused the distraction to Cash Wheeler, who grabbed a chair to chase off the Bucks, but Harwood turned into a super kick from the Rascalz and the hot fire flame, and the Rascalz pinned Dax Harwood in the middle of the ring. So Rascal gets a future title shot on FTR, or we can get a three-way match at Revolution as well. After the match, Gio ran down to the ring with the with Ricochet and attacked the Bucks, and Papa Bucks shoved Harvard, so Stokely threw powder into the face of Papa Bucks. Jack Perry tried to run down to make the save but had his head taken off by Ricochet with the spirit gun, and the Bucks and the Rascalz gets the save to Bucks family as well, who sold that pile driver really well, which hit by FTR. So again, setting up the World Tag Title match between FTR and the Young Bucks for Revolution as well. This was a very good Collision episode and a very good heat angle for the tag titles match as well for Revolution. So that's the end of the show, folks. Please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.